One thing I appreciate about the East versus the West. This is fucking huge. Now hear me out before you go trigger finger in the comment section. I think that still in the East, for the majority, gender roles are still appropriate. And for the West, a lot of men have become women and women becoming men. But it's for a deeper reason than you think. It all comes down to the socioeconomic state in the States. It is so fucking expensive to live in America that you can barely do it off of one source of income. And so what ends up happening is you have a household where the husband and wife have to work to provide. Generally speaking, you think general gender roles is provide and nurture, man, woman, none of which are empowered over the other, treated equally with different roles. I mean, even in the ecosystem of ants, there are different roles and genders. The queen takes care of the place, and the worker ants, they work. You can argue biology all you want, but that's the reality of it. At our core, as men, me personally as a man, I want nothing more than to come home to a nurturing environment, a wife, a loving wife. I firmly believe that women at their core want nothing more than to be taken care of. Now, this doesn't mean that a woman shouldn't be educated. A woman should absolutely be educated and also have a choice at working. Education, I think, is power. And I would want my spouse to be empowered to the fullest. So get your fucking doctorates, do your thing. I want you to be as smart as me. Because in the case that, God forbid, I were to pass and we have children or something like that, why wouldn't I want my woman to take care of herself? A strong man understands the value of having an equally strong woman, but that doesn't conflict with gender roles. A strong household is having yin and yang. But what ends up happening in the West is that because of the socioeconomic status, both spouses have to work. And so you have the man and the woman going out into this cold fucking world, just being absolutely destroyed by the workforce and the work environment, and women also being mistreated in the work environment. This is the reality. Coming home and then having the expectation to also nurture. Now in this case, I'm with the women on this. I don't blame them. At that point, it's like you're both filling both gender roles. And unfortunately, oftentimes opportunities are just not there for men and women. Now, I'm not gonna defend the men who are on their fucking ass not doing shit, but the reality of it is that we live in a consumerism and a very debt-oriented West country, which makes it easy to slip in debt and hard to survive. Check to check, working in medicine is fucking crazy. And so what ends up happening is both spouses have to work just to survive, putting pressure on both the man and the woman. The man wanting a nurturing wife at home, and the woman wanting security and stability to be able to choose to stay at home. Now, if a woman does decide to work, just like in the Quran and in Islam, it says that's her money, and it's not money for bills, it's not money for any of that shit. I'm with that. So if she decides to work, it's mentally good for her, it's growth, it's stimulation, but that should be out of choice. Unfortunately, not many men have the opportunity to give that choice. It sucks. And because of all of that, women becoming men and men turning into women. But deep down, at our core, a man wants nothing more than a nurturing wife, but to go home after she's worked and expect it's almost impossible. And that's the difference between the West and the East. These are the core values and morals, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm excited about going over there is to be able to raise kids and daughters in that environment. Education is an absolute must for empowerment and for security, and work is a great way to grow and develop. But in a picture-perfect world, in a perfect relationship, the man provides and the woman nurtures. And in providing, he provides security, he provides options, including the option to work or not to work. I don't know about you. I wish I had that option. But I, as a man who believes in these roles, busted my ass my entire life to be able to fulfill those. And so PSA to all of you who want these gender roles but can't fulfill it, have realistic expectations. I know, even if both of you guys are working, you still want things as a man, and ladies, you still want things as women, and that's where it meets compromise. If you're both providing, you should both share chores, and you should meet halfway. But this has been such a chronic issue in the West that it's turned into things like, I don't know what my pronouns are. I don't know if I like women or men. Well, because everybody's doing the same thing. How do you identify as a man? Why? How? And this is one of the biggest things I appreciate about the East. Also, beauty isn't in how little clothes you wear, by the way. It's actually the opposite. Grains of sand that you can find are a dime a dozen, but a diamond, nothing more pretty than that. وأقول قولي هذا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.